Hello, wonderful listeners. A quick update for you. I have created a paid subscription for the podcast. For 99p a month, you can get an extra bonus episode per week and a monthly workshop episode where I go into a lot more depth, a lot more detail, and provide a lot more structure for your self-development. Now, whether you are a loyal long-term listener or just ready to go deeper on your self-development or just generally want to support the podcast, I would love to hear from you, and you can find the link for subscribing in the show notes. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Self-Improvement Project. I believe this episode will probably get released on Boxing Day as I'm recording. So I hope that if you have had the time to enjoy it, that you've had a good Christmas. And obviously, episodes recently, I've been talking about how it's a reflective time of year. It's a time of year where we maybe look back at the things that we've achieved, but, and this is something that I found personally, is you tend to look at all the things that you wish you'd done. And through that reflection that I've had and spent doing over the last few weeks, is trying to gain a bit of clarity and understanding around what's the bigger picture. When we're reflecting upon the year just gone past, are we thinking about specific things just purely from innate desire? Or are we looking with that wider lens, that broader perspective of knowing what we really want? And it gave me the insight and allowed me to come to the conclusion about knowing what path you're on. Let me give a little bit more insight in that. So I've spent, if you read the emails or even some of the episodes recently, also quite a common tool to use with this exercise is a 5-year perspective. And from a professional point of view, career-wise, 5 years ago was a significant line in the sand. And I'm now journaling and reflecting on the sense that 5 years ago, if you'd told me where I was now, would I be happy? And it's important here to recognize you're always going to have ups, you're always going to have downs, you're going to have busy times, you're going to have quiet times. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do. You're going to get to do things that you want to do as well. But again, it leads me to that overarching thought of, am I on the path that I want to be on? That's the important question here today. You can sit there and think about, when it hits the new year, what are the things that you want to do? What are the things that you want to tweak and change and try, and all these goals, everything, the common things that you'll do around that time of year. But the most important question you need to ask yourself is, are you on the path that you want to be on? Do you need a big change? Or are you potentially overreacting and it's just time? 5 years ago, I needed a big change. 4 years ago, I would say I was on the path that I wanted to be on, just not there yet. And then since then, it has just been time. Being on the right path, but allowing time to get me there has been the most important thing. It's the classic cliche of enjoying the journey as you go along, but if you're sitting there doing things to distract yourself from potentially that element of existentialism of I'm doing these things because I don't like the path that I'm on, then it's the big question of what are you going to do about it? It's potentially a very strong argument to say how important this is with your life. If you're not on the right path for a number of years, you're always going to look back with that regret of, I wish I'd done something about it. I don't know exactly how it's going to fall out, but if I'm on the right path, or the path, there's no such thing as a right path. If you're on the path that you want to be on, and you feel good with the intention, the direction that you're going in, that is a hell of an important question to ask yourself in your life. So, I guess that's to summarize. It's a short episode, but it's just the idea that we need to sit with right now. Are you on the path that you want to be on? Use this time to reflect. This time of year is always good for giving yourself that space. Look at the things that you've maybe done more than you thought you would, which is always nice. Look at the desires that you feel there is a need for. But ultimately think, are all of those things contributing to where it is that you're going? That fulfillment, that meaning, that acceptance that you're not going to get it all right away, but making sure that you're on the right path for you that you want to be on. Not being on a path that somebody else wants you to be on, that society wants you to be on. Making sure that you look after yourself and feeding that enjoyment of the journey of wherever it is that you're going. Like I say, I hope you enjoy that, or have enjoyed that even. I will touch base with you all in the new year. And thanks again for listening. Cheers. Hey guys, me again. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you're not ready for the Becoming Unstuck in 30 Days self-led course quite yet, why don't you try my free ebook I created? 5 simple steps to improve yourself and your life. I made this during the very first lockdown of the pandemic, in the early days of the self-improvement project. It's a quick go-to when you're feeling unsure what to work on when improving yourself or your lifestyle. And the great starting point if you're trying to figure out how to live a more fulfilling and simple life. The link for this will be in the show notes for you. Have a good one.